Hi, I'm Rasan America Shad in here with another episode of Dark Theory USA. I'm here with you guys to talk about the most important issue, which is COVID 2.0 is coming. Is COVID back? Um, is there any message from China to United States because of those tariffs? Uh, is there something going on over there? We will dig into it. But before that, I want to talk about just briefly about the news that has happened. One of them is, President Macron, President of France, came to United States, and even though always they have had beef, at least uh, in last couple of months since he was president-elect after November 5th, but despite all of that, they had a very good relationship and very good gathering. And Macron dedicated his speech when they were asking question about that United States and um, France. Sure, they have been allied together for a long time, and they have to make sure Ukraine is safe and then Europe is not invaded anymore. Also, President Trump said in order to get the money back they spent on Ukraine, like that $200 billion. So he proposed that they have some rare mineral, cobalt and lithium, if I'm not mistaken, uh, in the Ukraine. I'm pretty sure about the lithium. I don't know about the cobalt, but they had some rare minerals, and so Trump said, we come and invest our companies, and then we're gonna take 500 billion worth of your minerals as a payback. And that's the only way that we could help you out, and then we could end the conversation, end the war, and in the end, you guys gonna be safe. We're gonna get our money back. And also, he put a couple of conditions over there. One of them was, well, in that case, DC shouldn't be guarantor and shouldn't be guaranteeing the safety of Ukraine, but it should be not DC, but it should be an European Union, which makes sense, as Trump has mentioned that many times. There are oceans between Russia and United States, but next after the Ukraine, the next is other countries in the Europe. So Europeans should step up and pay more, and then defend their own continent. Well, one other hand, I could see like so many Europeans, they were saying like, well, yes, that's true. You have been helping us more, but we always did everything that you asked us in last couple of decades, and we were just following you. That was the conversation, and Trump said, yeah, we don't take advantage of you anymore. You don't take advantage of us. Let's get it done. And then he said maybe some development can happen between United States and Russia. Trump said that, and immediately President Putin responded back and said, not only with the government, but also we are happy to share our minerals and help the $2 billion worth of one resources that I don't remember in top of my head that the United States was lacking. Russia said we could help you into your market so your market won't crash because they need that mineral. I don't exactly remember what the name was, but so Putin already is showing that he's inclined to go back to the market and then be allied with the United States. I always Putin wanted that, but I think with the Democrats it never happened. And also, besides all of them, the peace between Hamas and Israel is kind of shaky right now, and if both sides are threatening, if their conditions are not met, they can start the move and do something about that and end the peace. And yeah, I think that's about it for now. For all everything that has happened between Ukraine, Russia, Hamas, Israel, they are the biggest thing. And I think after that, the focus would be shift toward the China. Speaking of the devil, today I wanted to talk about the like few days ago I saw that I think that actually, if I'm not mistaken, somebody told me it caused the economic crash, kind of not economic crash, but the market Nasdaq crash. I mean, this is what they said. The professional people said that it was on the Twitter also. So they were saying like that caused a panic in the US market as well and in the world, of course, that they found a new bat virus that is so similar to the COVID, and it raised the concern, uh, and it can be as deadly as a COVID. So what I'm gonna do is right now we're gonna go see the news for now, and then we talk about that. All right.
A new bat coronavirus discovered in China could infect humans via the same route as COVID-19, and it uses the same portal to enter into human cells as the virus that causes COVID-19, raising the risk that it could spark an outbreak in people. The study was led by Shi Zhengli, a virologist known as Batwoman, at the Guangzhou laboratory. The team also included researchers from the Guangzhou Academy of Sciences, Wuhan University, and the Wuhan Institute of Virology. She's best known for her work at the Wuhan Institute, which has been at the center of the controversy about the origins of COVID. The latest discovery is a new lineage of the HKU5 coronavirus that was first identified in the Japanese.
So, first in the Japanese version, Hong Kong. Okay, so first in Hong Kong, a virus can bind to the human, just like COVID, the COVID that we know. Okay, the same SARS-CoV.
bat.
So HKU5 is the name of the new bat coronavirus. HKU5 can bind infect cells
in Hong Kong. The virus is able to bind to the human angiotensin converting enzyme to infect the cells. The same receptor that is used by SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19, the coronavirus not only binds to ACE2 receptors in humans, but in multiple other species, all of which could act as an intermediate host and could pass it on to humans. The discovery has brought back the focus on Shi Zhengli, who's been at the center of theories that the coronavirus pandemic originated with a leak from her specialized lab in Wuhan. Now, she has repeatedly denied that her institution is to be blamed for the health disaster. Now, she is a leading virologist known as the Batwoman due to her extensive research on bat coronaviruses. Now, some experts have claimed that she could have been leading so-called gain-of-function experiments in which scientists increase the strength of a virus to better study its effects on hosts. Now, according to the New York Times in 2017, she and her colleagues at the Wuhan laboratory had published a report on an experiment. The report claimed that in this experiment, they created a new hybrid of bat coronaviruses by mixing and matching parts of several existing ones in order to study their ability to infect and also to replicate the human cells. But in an email to the newspaper, she has denied the theory and has said that her experiments had differed from gain-of-function experiments, since they did not seek to make a coronavirus more dangerous. Now, she further claimed that they were trying to understand as to how the virus might jump across species.
All right. So basically, from the same place as COVID virus, the COVID-19 came out, was leaked. This place is over there, and then whatever the controversy is over there, the thing is, like, it has exactly the same cause and effect, like how to say, it is made by same cells, the same proteins, and the way that it penetrates inside the body and can affect other animals and is as deadly as that one, HKU5. I think it's bigger than that. I mean, it's not coincidence, because if you remember, everyone knows that because of those tariffs and the deal that Trump made with the Chinese president, somehow people say he retaliated by leaking the COVID virus, because if you remember, like, they were listen, if you just go back, let's go back in the beginning of the pandemic, before the pandemic. Do you remember we were watching some people in the China, they were shaking, their saliva was coming out as if, like they were dying, they were getting heart attack, they were shaking their body, and people were recording that. Did we see anybody else who died from COVID had those type of symptoms? No. So it means it was already a stitch, it was already fake, because if it is, they will say, oh, that's a COVID, that's COVID. They wanted global panic, and some people, they were recording that. So if you remember that time, so many people don't remember, but I do. They were showing like this is how people who get COVID react to it, but we never saw anybody who react to COVID like that. So it was already faked and staged. So it means, and also they were making sure like it takes a little time, then completely release that. First Wuhan, and a little in the lab, and some other people died, and then it was leaked completely. It was kind of like a trailer in the beginning. So I think right now, there's a possibility we are dealing with the same thing. So China is basically threatening, hey, it can be deadly, don't play with me. Um, we can basic China is saying we are going down, everyone is going down with us. But the problem is, even they are not going down because they're already leaking that, so they're already prepared. Did you see that China was the one? Yeah, of course, with the biggest restriction, but also in other hand, it was prepared completely. Only few months, it was it affected China only few months prior to the war. Like in the end of 2019, in middle of 2019, it happened. In the beginning of 2020, world went to the quarantine. So what I'm trying to say to you is basically, I believe it can be bigger than that, because the same symptoms, the way that the China is showing it to the world, like it's like basically warming up the world. Hey, the new COVID is coming, and same place, same cause, same effect, same symptoms. Everything is the same, just the 2.0. Basically, it's like a franchise. It's like a prequel, sequel. Sorry, sorry, my bad. It's like a sequel of the COVID, and they just put the new name. And it was so easy. If you remember, in the end, they were saying, "Oh, new COVID, Delta, Gamma, Alpha." All of them. They were new strain of COVID. Oh, new shots. So it's so easy to just, you don't know anything about that. They just say, "Oh, that's a new variant." So um, I believe after those threats that Trump had toward the China, and especially right now, he's gonna bring a stability in the Middle East, and then also in the Europe, Russia, Ukraine. So it could focus on the China. I think China knows that US is preparing. So basically, probably they're showing like, hey, um, do you want new COVID? Because after that world crash, do you want new COVID? So if you don't want, leave us alone. So I don't think this time works anymore, because in the beginning there were so many sympathy with China. Oh my God, it's so racist to say it came from China. China. No, don't say that. It was just accident. China is good. China is good. Government really try to uh, wash China's hand from the blood of the people. But I think by now people have had enough, and so many lives have changed. And even I believe personally, one of those Black Lives Matter riots, BLM riots in 2020, they were caused by COVID, because when you stay home, you don't go out, you go crazy, right? So that normalcy that we had was gone, and that's why people reacted crazy whole in the world, not only in United States. And I think that caused, and so many people lost their dear friends, people. um, I think at this point, um, people have had enough, and they don't care what governments say. They won't let China get away with that this time. So I don't think that level of support, because so many people, they were lefties and they hated Trump, so they were teaming up. They are basically, like, I saw that in a TikTok, somebody was teaming up with the cartels against Trump. Like, that was one congresswoman that I really hate, and she was saying, "Yeah, we are Team Canada, Team Mexico against." Yeah, like, you are congressman, you are getting paid by America, and you're teaming up with other countries. Now, just it shows like how leftists are, like they don't belong to anywhere. They are like a parasite. They are like a virus. They just go anywhere that would benefit them. Even they betray their own host, their own home. And I think, but the people have had enough. Just the way that Trump won a few days ago, I think yesterday, 2 days ago, that was election in Germany, and AfD actually got 20% of the vote, which was double of the last time. So it's showing, in the West at least, there is a shift, and people don't want those lefties, those communist garbages anymore. And I think, don't no matter how government try to be nice to the China, and they say it's just an accident, leave them alone. I think people they are fed up. They have had enough. So I think China should be worried about more than just a couple of governments, to make sure like, oh, if I have them on my side, they will be quiet. I think people will rise against that. Uh, so just what I'm saying is like in 2020, Democrats tried, like a COVID pandemic, election, mail-in ballots, so many different tactics. They use that, like suppressing news about the Biden, Hunter Biden laptop. That it turned out that the government asked them to shut down the social media CEOs to shut down every account that talks about that. And right after, when the election was gone, they say, okay, now they can talk about that. And then so many people were saying, they were questioned, if you knew that the thing about the Hunter Biden laptop, would it change your opinion who you would vote for? And around 60% of those people who voted for Biden, they say, yeah, if I knew that, maybe it would change my mind. But in 2024, they couldn't do it. It's not like Democrats, they were playing clean, but they tried everything they could, but they couldn't do anything. They used all their cards in 2020. If they were a little smart, they would just keep some of them for next election. But the way that they forced everything, bring it didn't work anymore. Did you see that? Like they lined up all the celebrities to come, and they endorsed Kamala. It didn't happen. They did everything they could. It just didn't work anymore. And I think a good thing for us who are not lefties or right wingers, the good thing for us is they're out of idea, so they cannot keep manipulating us. So they have a couple of tactics, and it has worked, to be honest with you, for a long time. Not anymore, and they don't have any idea what next, what to do after that. What is the new strategy? There is no new strategy. They keep overplaying the same card until it's burned. And I think China again didn't even bother to come up with new virus, new tactic. The same lab, same scientist, and then same name, even same virus. So of course people say, oh, it's just COVID virus 2.0. And I think at this point people are not ready to go back to quarantine time. So I'm not. I'm speculating. Probably that was a message. Hey, if you force too much, if you put too much pressure, Trump, if you're gonna get us out of the market, I'm gonna cause the market to crash. And I think Trump already has had a plan how to replace those cheap labors if we want to cut our relationship somehow with the China. So we better have somebody to replace that. So that wouldn't be surge like a rise of spike of the prices. Uh, and I think Trump already because that's the reason. Like he keeps bringing people to the White House, talk to them. So he has a plan. Plus, there is no there's no next term. So whatever he has, that's it. So he's gonna go full into it. He's gonna do everything he can because he doesn't need to be worried about the next election. And also, one of the scary thing was Trump suggested that Russia, China, and United States, we both decreased our military budget by 50%. And Putin said that's a good idea. Trump already suggested that, but China refused that. And it's concerning. Why would you do such a thing? Um, but again, I don't know, but it seems like it was a message. Like, you see, oh, like, because think about that. For 6 months, it was in China, it was in China, it was in China. And when they realized that, okay, we have to go fully attacking Trump's and US economy, they got released to the world. Like, if it was out of hand, do you remember since couple of cases have, I think Tom Hanks was the first celebrity who got that, United States. It was matter of days or hours until whole world got it. Like since we saw that, oh, it is serious, we have had like 100 cases in United States, 2 3 days later whole world got it, right? So how is it possible in China for 5 6 months they could keep it under control and it got out of hand, and the rest of the world got it only in a few days? Doesn't sound shady to you? right? So I think that's the case again. Like we are controlling it. We are trying to control this new COVID, this bad virus. We are doing our best. The moment they realize that, oh, it's getting dangerous, they are losing the market, okay, release. And in matter of the second, the whole world gonna get that. I don't think this time it's gonna work. Like before they're gonna decide that world gonna make a reaction to it. And the good thing about that is China already has all the reason for other countries to hate them. You see, for Muslim, the Palestinian issue, Israel issue, China is already have the Uyghur camps. So that's it. So Muslims have the reason to hate them. Russia. Russia hates China so much that if they fly their jets over the Russia's territory, even those areas, not Moscow or dangerous area, even those places that nobody lives, it's just a desert or it's just mountains. Russia doesn't even give the warning, immediately shoots them down. Like this is how much they hate that. Imagine after all of this isolation that Russia got isolated from Europe, so only great like big ally that it could have was China. Still in the interview Lavrov had with Tucker, or even Putin with the Tucker Carlson, they were saying they are our neighbors. What can we do? Like right now, at least as a diplomat, as a politician, like right now, one of the few allies that you have is a China. You should talk better. But even the best thing they could say, they are our neighbors. We have to tolerate each other. So it was already so many. For example, like BRICS. So China was heavily investing on the BRICS. And then when Trump said that, okay, so BRICS shouldn't be any currency, you cannot replace US dollar. Immediately Putin, because he knew that Trump would end the war and start a relationship with the partnership with Russia, he said, oh yeah, we are not going to use the BRICS at all. BRICS was just no currency, just some alliance between us so we could trade with each other. That's it, like G7, something like that. No currency or anything, don't be worried. So imagine if you take the Russia out of the BRICS, only China is left. You know what I'm saying? And he already brought the India. And the Indian guy Modi said, oh, make the India great again. So they are already teaming up, partnering up with America. So Russia is out, India is out. They're already South Africa. They were talking about the genocide of the white people, killing white people. They are already getting out of the sanction, and Iran is already begging for having deal with United States because economically they are so bad. So you see, all of them is only China left, right? And China left with the BRICS to deal with what? With itself, with the Hong Kong. So I believe Trump is slowly going there to get China. Oh, also, all those independent nations, they would team up with the Taiwan. So Muslims for Uyghurs, um, Eastern Asian countries for Taiwan, and then Russia for like what they have seen from Chinese, what they have done, and rest of the world for the COVID. So you see, everyone has a reason to hate China, and then China is just making it harder for themselves. And I think that's a good thing about my country, United States. They did a great job to make sure China uh, basically um, going forward without looking back. So I think United States helped China to be reckless. Because you know that, for example, right, there are so many things right now China is facing. If they would solve it if America would call them out. So they would go to fix it before it would turn to the issue. But America spotted all those holes, vulnerabilities, but decided to be quiet. So China would think, oh, they haven't figured it out, so I can keep going and keep going. And it was a trap. And now America gonna call every bluff it had. So America had the poker face, as acting like I am good. No, sorry, China had the poker face, and America was acting like it was fooled. now it is time to bluff, call their bluff. And there are so many things happening. In one other video, I talk about that all the issues that China is facing, and China, in the best case scenario, in 10 years, after 10 years, same thing happened to Soviet Union, gonna happen to the China, and maybe even worse, um, because at least Russia was all the way into Europe. China is not, and China is way more isolated, and all you need is just a Russia allied with the West, and then China is not out. So I will talk about that, the problem that China is facing. Um, but for now, I'm just saying, I think that COVID thing, we should take it seriously, and that was a message. Depends on how President Trump reacted. DeepSeek, the release of DeepSeek was just, to just show that, hey, calm down, Trump, chill. If you want to take me out of the market, I will do whatever I can before I go. And I think that after DeepSeek, when it didn't work out, because DeepSeek was just, according to all these professionals, economists, they said it was just a panic, and a market regulated itself. But and also, again, they released the COVID trailer, COVID 2.0 trailer, and we have to see what happens next. But I believe right now China doesn't have those cards that it used to play with. So I hope, this is my opinion, but we're gonna see what happens next. So I hope you like that, and I hope to see you next time. See you, bye bye. And like always, as above, so below.